everybody. My name is Miss B, and today we are going to be talking about two new things. And these things are going to set us up for the next few classes together, and we will be doing some improv, okay? Improvisational theater. And I'll describe what that is when we get there, but today let's focus on miming and objectives, okay? So what is miming? Have you ever heard of a mime? Yeah, so sometimes you see mimes like pretend they're in a box. They're like, oh, I'm in a box. Maybe their face is painted white or something like that. And in acting, sometimes we use miming in a way to help us communicate something to the audience in a very specific way. So when we are doing mime, that means that we are not using our voices and we are only using our body and our exaggerated faces and expressions to show a story or a character or show that you're at a specific place. These are just some examples of the ways that you can use miming to communicate things without using words. So that's miming. The second word is objective. What is an objective? Have you ever heard of that word? So an objective is basically a fancy way of saying a strong want, a really strong want, something that you really, really want to happen, okay? And we use objectives when we are acting to help guide our energy, guide our tone, and guide the way that our body is being used in that space. So for example, when you use an objective, that will help keep you focused as an actor in case you forget some lines, for example, okay? So if I'm on stage and I'm with my partner and I know in this scene we're supposed to be folding laundry, but I forgot my lines, at the very least, I know what my objective is. I know that my purpose in this place is to finish folding my laundry. That's what I want to do. I want to finish folding my laundry. So even if I forget my lines or what I'm supposed to say, I can still participate, be engaged, and be focused and present in the moment because I have clear objectives in my mind. Today, I'm going to read a story to you. It's called Rosie Revere, Engineer. And after we read the story, we're going to try to think about specific things that we remember. And we're going to take 3 moments from the story, and I'm going to teach you how to mime out those parts of the story with your objective, okay? That is our goal for today. So now I'm going to read you the story, Rosie Revere, Engineer. And I would like you to think about 3 moments that really stand out to you that you really, really remember, okay? Remember 3 parts of the story, and then it's going to help fuel our improv and miming that we do later, okay? All right, so this is called Rosie Revere, Engineer by Andrea Beatty. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Lila Green's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasure to add to her engineer's stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. So this is Rosie digging through the trash to try to find some cool treasures for her inventions. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos that she loved. And when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they would never be seen. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair swooping over just one eye, and made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser, and helium pants. A hot dog dispenser? Do you see these pants? This man's floating in the air because she put helium in it. Helium is the gas that we put into balloons to make them float. And she put that in his pants. The uncle she loved most was Zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off of his head. From parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. This is the hat over here, and this is the snake that she's trying to keep away. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud. But Fred slapped his knee and he chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then she looked away. I love it, Fred hooted. Oh, truly I do. But Rosie Revere knew that that could not be true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf, and after that day, kept all of her dreams to herself. So after this happened, Rosie didn't want to do any more of her gadgets because this guy was laughing at her. Just laughing at her. And that's how it went until one autumn day, her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great great Aunt Rose was a true dynamo who'd worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she had checked off of her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. The only thrill left on my list is to fly. But time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dreams. So Rosie's aunt came and told her about all of the things she's built such a long time ago, and she said she still wants to fly in a plane. That night, Rosie lay wide-eyed in bed. A daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat and said, "No, not I." But questions are tricky, and some hold on tight. And this one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit the sky, young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. Ooh, so Rosie has an idea to make her aunt fly. These are all of her gizmos and her laying in bed. She worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her cheese copter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. So she brought her cheese helicopter all the way outside and she's gonna try it. What do you think is gonna happen? Oh, maybe. We have to wait and see. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The helio cheese copter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round. Then it froze for a heartbeat and crashed to the ground. Her invention didn't work. It crashed. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned around to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed and her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who thought, oh no, never, never again will I try to build something to sputter or spin, or build with a lever, a switch, or a gear, and never will I be a great engineer. Her aunt was laughing, and now Rosie's sad. Let's see what happens next. She turned around to leave, but then great Aunt Rose grabbed a hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. You did it! Hooray! It's the perfect first try. This great flop is over. It's time for the next. Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, and perplexed. I failed, said dear Rosie. It's just made of trash. Didn't you see it? The cheese copter crashed. Yes, said her great aunt. It crashed. That is true. But first it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew. And that's why her aunt's so happy for her. Rosie's surprised because Rosie's like, it didn't even work how I wanted it to. But her aunt is still super excited and happy and proud of her. I wonder why. Let's keep reading. Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next. She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure can come if you quit. Ah, so Rosie's aunt gave her a journal to make new ideas, and she told her quitting is just a step to success. Everyone, I mean, failure is a step to success. You only really fail if you give up. But as long as you keep trying, you can always get better and better and better and still reach success. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rose tied her headscarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear, to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. Aw. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. Can you find Rosie? Where's Rosie in this picture? Yup, she's right there. Hey, Rosie. The end. What an awesome story. So, in this book, we learned that failing is awesome. As long as you keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Rosie failed and people laughed at her, and she thought to herself, I'll never become an engineer. And she gave up. But then her aunt inspired her, and she kept trying and failing and celebrating her failures because she still kept trying and working hard to make her dreams come true. And because she kept trying, Rosie decided to find success and build more things. And now everyone in her class is an engineer building gadgets and gizmos. That's awesome. So let's take a second and think about what we remember from the story. We need a specific moment. There we go. So we need a specific moment from the story. And for each moment that we choose, we're going to write out what that objective was. What was the want in that moment for the people that were in that scene? Okay, so let's think back to our story with Rosie Revere Engineer. What is something that you remember from your story? Yeah. So the first thing that I remember from the story was when she was looking for trash. Remember? Rosie was digging through trash at the very beginning of the story. Do you remember why she was digging for trash? Think about it. Why was Rosie digging in the trash? Yeah, she was looking for treasure, right? Looking for treasure, anything she could find that would help her build some of her gadgets and gizmos. So we're going to say that her objective or her want in this moment of the story was to find treasure. To find treasure, okay? And we'll come back to this after we fill out the rest of our chart. What's another moment that you remember? Another moment that you remember. Oh, when Fred was laughing at her. That was the moment where she decided after that she wasn't going to make any more gadgets and gizmos. She was just going to keep them all to herself. So I'm going to write here the second moment was when Fred was laughing at Rosie. So Fred is laughing at Rosie. And what is the objective? What do you think? What was Rosie's objective? And what was Fred's objective? Because we have two people in this moment. We have two people. So I think Fred's objective was just a response. Like he was just letting it out because he thought that the hat looked funny. So there wasn't really a strong want that Fred had other than to receive the gift, to take the gift that Rosie gave him. But what about Rosie? What did Rosie want in that moment? Yeah, she definitely wanted Fred to stop laughing at her because she was really embarrassed and that made her feel really bad. But she also really wanted just to give Fred a gift. That was her whole goal, right? Just to give Fred a gift. And then he laughed at her. So I'm going to write that Rosie wanted to give Fred a gift. All right. And let's think of one more moment. One more moment from the story that we really remember. I know. When Rosie's great great aunt was telling her about all of her life stories. She was telling her about things that she's worked on, things that she's done and created. And she was telling Rosie that her last dream and her last wish that she hasn't done is to fly. So I'm going to write Great Great Aunt Rose explains her life. Okay? And what do you think what does she want to do in that moment? When Rosie's great great Aunt Rose was telling her all these stories about her life, why did she do that? What was she trying to do? What did she want? What do you think? Yeah, maybe she just wanted to inspire her. Because when we share our stories with other people, we can inspire them to do things that they didn't believe they could do. You could inspire them to really like love themselves more and believe in themselves more. So I'm going to write to inspire. Great. So we are now going to take these different moments and objectives, and we're going to think about how we could mime these things out. How could we use our bodies and our expressions to show what's happening in that moment? Okay, so let's start with the first one. Rosie digging through the trash. Now, you could just be like, and be like, that's digging in the trash, right? Because I was digging, pulling things out. But let's think deeper. And let's think about what the objective is to find treasure. So we don't just want to show that Rosie's digging in the trash, but we also want to show the reason why she's digging through the trash, which is to find treasure. So let's start with Rosie's emotions. What kind of emotion do you think Rosie is experiencing when she's digging through the trash? Digging through the trash. What do you think? Yeah, maybe she's excited because she's like waiting to see what she finds. Maybe she's really focused and she's like, I need to find this in the trash. Maybe she's maybe she's like bored of digging in the trash and she's just like, I'll dig through the trash. Let's choose excited. So we know that Rosie is really excited. So I'm going to make some notes for us with purple. So we know that Rosie is excited. So I'm going to put a face like this. Like, yay! Okay? Super excited. And what else? What else could happen in that moment? She's excited, looking for yeah, exactly. We could also show her finding a piece of treasure. So we're going to show Rosie digging through the trash first in an excited way, and then we'll show her finding treasure. Before she just finds the treasure, what else could we add to liven up the scene more? Because sometimes when you're looking for something, you don't really find it on the first try. Sometimes it takes some time. Maybe you think you found what you're looking for, but then you realize it's not what you were looking for. So let's add some of those moments in there too. So she's going to be excited to dig through the trash. She's going to eventually find some treasure, but before she actually finds her treasure, Rosie is going to think that she found something, but actually it's just the banana peel. So false treasure. We're also going to show her finding some false treasure. Treasure that's not really treasure, okay? So let's take these things and act them out without using our voices. So I'm going to walk off of the screen and then I'll come back on and I'm going to act out exactly what we just described so that I'm showing that she's excited in this moment. I show her finding some false treasure and also finding treasure because that is her objective, okay? And then we'll pick it apart. So pay attention. I want to know what you noticed, okay? Let's start. And scene. Okay, what did you notice when I was acting that out? What did you notice? Yeah, I was excited when I first found the trash can because Rosie was also excited. There were I was taking things out of the trash, but also like examining them, looking at them, deciding if this is a treasure or not. Some things I threw away, some things I threw back in the trash. And there was one other thing that I did. Do you remember? Yes. At one point, there was something gross on my hand. So I pretended that I was really in that moment digging through trash. And I touched something really gross and was like, ugh, I need to get this off my hands. So when you are given a moment or a environment or a scenario, something to act out without using your voice, you can really think about where you are in the moment and what the objective for that moment is to help you think about what things you can add to your act. Let's go to the next one. So we have Fred laughing at Rosie when Rosie just wanted to give him a gift. So this is a special one. So I'm going to show you how to play two different characters, okay? So when I stand over here, I will be Rosie. And when I stand over here, I will be Fred. So keep that in mind. This is Fred. This is Rosie. Fred, Rosie. Got it? Good. Fred, Rosie. Okay, so Fred. Why do you think Fred was laughing? Why was he laughing? What do you think? Yeah, maybe he's laughing because the hat was really big and it was spraying cheese places. And maybe as an adult, he just thought that was kind of ridiculous, even though Rosie thought that was the perfect thing that he needed. So Fred, we're going to say Fred has a grown-up perspective because Fred is like, cheese hat, that's ridiculous. And that's why he's laughing. So we're going to put grown-up near Fred. So we know that Fred is like in a grown-up world, which is a lot different than Rosie's world, right? And let's think about Rosie. How do you think Rosie is feeling in this moment or right before the moment? What do you think? Yeah. She probably felt like really excited at first because she was like, I'm going to give him this gift. It's the perfect gift. But then she felt like really embarrassed and uncomfortable and sad because he was laughing at her and she felt silly. She felt so silly. So Rosie goes from being excited to being sad. Excited to sad, okay? Even though she wants to just give him a gift. So, what other feelings might Rosie have in that moment? We know she goes from excited to sad. We know Fred is thinking like a grown up. What else? Yeah, maybe Rosie has some like second thoughts about her creation. Maybe now she thinks her gift isn't the perfect gift. So we're going to say that Rosie has some second thoughts. A second thought is like, it's kind of like when you do a double take. For example, I could be like, I want to use this purple marker. And then I start to use it. And then I'm like, oh, wait, do I really want to use this purple marker? So it's a double take because I was going to do it. And then I thought about it again. It's like you take your thought out of your head. And then you're like, wait, let's revisit that thought. Let's put it back in my head and think about it more. So that's what a second thought is. So we're going to put second thoughts. Second thoughts. All right. So Fred is over here on this side of the screen in front of our poster. And over here is Rosie. So I'm going to start off being Rosie presenting the gift. Then I'll step over here and be Fred for a little bit. And then I'll come back over here and show Rosie's reaction to Fred laughing. And remember, we're doing this without using our voice, using our bodies to hold objects and engage with things, our imaginations so we can see those things and pretend that they're there, and our expressions and emotions to help us step into the lives of these characters. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. All right. What did you notice about that scene? What did you notice? Yeah, Rosie was really excited. She ran up to him to give him the gift because she was so excited for him to finally see it. And then, what was Fred doing? Yeah, Fred was laughing, rolling his eyes. And then for a second, Fred just looked up and he was like, what is this? What does this mean? Maybe like thinking about the past or the future, just wrapped up in thoughts. Maybe he was thinking about when he was Rosie's age and he was like, I would never do something like that when I was little. Or I've totally done something like that when I was little. So Fred was having all of these ideas and laughing and not even caring really about Rosie. And then how did Rosie feel after? Yeah, her whole posture changed. First, she was excited and standing up, and then she kind of shrunk down, hunched over, and her shoulders were down, and her face was sad. And she was looking at the thing that she made, just disgusted. She's like, do I even want this? Why did I even make this? So Rosie had so many second thoughts looking at her creation because Fred was laughing at her. And then she just walked away and gave up. So all of those different emotions and all of those things in the story, you could see even though I was not using my voice. So I'm excited for you to try this and try miming out some things at home, because I would love to see how you are able to act using your body and your emotions and expressions and not using your voice. All right, let's do the last scene. So the last scene is when the great Aunt Rose is explaining her entire life story, okay? And the whole objective of that moment is to inspire Rosie, okay? To inspire Rosie. So what do you think are some of the emotions that great Aunt Rose may be feeling when she's explaining all of these parts of her life? What do you think? Yeah. So I'm gonna add excited because she has a lot of exciting things to share. So I'll put a face like this to show excited. What about hopeful, right? Because she feels a lot of hope. She's trying to inspire Rosie, and she can't inspire Rosie if she doesn't have any hope, right? So she feels hopeful. What other feeling could great Aunt Rose be experiencing when she's explaining these things? Because remember, we can't explain it using our voice. We have to use our bodies. So what other feeling? Yes, great memory. Maybe she's feeling a little sad because she had never got to fly. So sad about flying. Let's go back to that page in our book, because she said some very specific things. And I think we could act out some of these things. So this is the page that we were on. And that's how it went until one autumn day, her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great Aunt Rose was a true dynamo who'd worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she had checked off of her list one by one. So we could act out using our bodies her great Aunt Rose building airplanes, because that's what she talked about, right? So I'm going to draw an airplane. Here's one wing. Here's the other wing. And we'll put this in there. So this is our airplane, okay? Great. So we're going to try to act out her being excited and hopeful, talking about how she built airplanes. And at the end, we're going to talk about how she's sad that she never got to fly, okay? And we're going to talk about these things without using our voice. So I'm going to show you how I would use my body and my emotions to be great Aunt Rose, trying to inspire Rosie. Let's get started. and scene. Okay, so what did you notice when I was acting that out? Yeah, those are all awesome things that you noticed. Thanks for paying attention. So, great great Aunt Rose talked about flying around. She was so happy and energetic. She was looking up into the sky and talking about the future. She was talking about herself, speaking directly to Rosie, and telling Rosie, if I could do it, you could do it, right? And we can see that the great great aunt Rose was also really sad at the end. So there was a moment at towards the end of that act where she got kind of sad. And it wasn't like a completely sad because she's still hopeful. She's still hopeful. But she was a little like let down, a little like, it is what it is. I'm sad that I can't fly, but maybe one day I'll be able to, right? So you can show all of these different emotions, not even using your voice. How do you use your facial expressions or your body language? You can communicate with a whole other language just using your body. So I'm so excited to see how creative you all get with making your own silent scenes and using your body and your emotions to act out everything. So let's go back and just think really quick. What is an objective again? Exactly. An objective is a strong want, something you really, really want. And focusing on our objective helps us act using our bodies and not our voices. It also helps us when we're using our voices to act, just in case we like forget our lines, for example, or when we do improv. So improv theater or improvisational theater is basically theater that has no preparation. You don't memorize a script. There's no lines that you memorize. You don't know what you're doing. There's no plan. You just step on stage with somebody else and you start acting. You're probably thinking, Miss B, how do you do that? That sounds like magic. It does feel like magic sometimes. But improv theater is awesome because you are always saying yes to your partner's creative choices on stage. So if I'm acting on stage with my friend Ebony, then Ebony and I have to work together to keep the story going forward. So if Ebony says, do you like my new cat? I can't say, you're not holding a cat. I don't see a cat. What cat is that? Because that's not helping the story move forward. So if we are doing improv and Ebony says, do you like my new cat? I could say, oh, your cat's so cute. Oh my goodness, I love your cat. Because I'm trying to help move that story forward and really work together to create the story that we're sharing on stage. So next week, we are going to work on improv. I'm going to give you some cool improv tips and we'll do some practicing together. But this was a great start thinking about how we mime, tell stories, or express things without using our voice, and understanding objectives, which will help us next week when we do our improv. All right? So please send in some videos. I want to see all of the awesome work that you are creating at home. So please record yourself and send us your videos to stories, STORIES, at handfulplayers.org. Okay? Please, please, please send in your videos. I really want to see them. And I promise you, I'm going to be so happy to see your work. I'm going to think it's great. I'm sure it's awesome. We also have a challenge for you, a challenge. So if you want to be in the Mo Magic Summer Youth Showcase, I need you to send me a video of yourself dancing your best dance moves or singing to We Got Love by Tiana Taylor. That song is called We Got Love by Tiana Taylor. So please send in some videos of yourself singing and dancing or creating anything you want that relates to that. We'd love to see it and include you in the showcase video. So please send that over to us this week, okay? As soon as you can. And I will see you next week so we can do some improv, all right?
Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first nature boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Chrissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks! Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first nature boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Chrissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks! Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first Nature Boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Chrissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one side and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks! Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first Nature Boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Chrissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us
Is at another program today, and so it'll be just be me. So today we're gonna do the basic agenda. We're gonna do our warm-ups, which includes high knees, butt kickers, and then a little bit practice with the ball. And then we'll be talking about guessing today because it'll just be me and I'll be kind of cheating. And then we'll be moving back to some more activities. We'll see if I can do the soccer exams, see how many I can do consecutively, and talk a little bit more Champions League, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get it going. So for the first warm up, we're gonna be doing some high knees. So we'll do high knees for about Let's go for a minute this time since we are in a new week and last week we did 55 seconds. All right, let's get to it. Ready? High knees in 3, 2, and 1. Make sure you have your palms out, facing down, and then get your knees up to your palms. If you want to make it into a dynamic warm-up, you can also move with the high knees back and forth. 30 more seconds to go. Almost there, almost there. Keep it going. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so now we'll be moving on to butt kickers. So butt kickers, palms behind your bottom, palms facing out behind you, and then you're supposed to get your heel to your palms. So let's do a minute of that, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Like I said, try to get your heels to your palms. And if you want to make it another challenge, you can move your palms so that way you get a bigger stretch. You can also make a dynamic stretch while just moving with the butt kicks back and forth. About 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Now we're gonna be doing some dynamic stretching, which include the closing the gate and opening the gate, and then some high kicks. And then we're gonna be doing a Superman today. I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago actually, we did a Superman stretch like that. We'll be doing that again. So let's see. I'll be going from this green line to that green line. And we're gonna start off with opening the gate. So open the gate back and then forth. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Take a couple steps, bring your knee, and then up and to the side. Then you switch legs. You turn back. We'll do that one more round. So up and to the side, and one more back. Now we're going to be doing closing the gate, which is basically the same thing, but this time bring your leg to the side and to the front. So closing the gate in 3, 2, and 1. Like I mentioned, side and then forward to you. Let's go one more round. Oops. Now we're gonna do some high kicks. So high kicks, you just kick your leg up as high as you can without falling back. And then with your right leg, you're gonna try to left palm. And with your left leg, you're gonna hit your right palm. Sound good? So we're gonna be going up to this ball. That's a good distance. Always start from this line. So high kicks in 3, 2, and 1. Make sure you feel a stretch in your hamstring and part of the way down to your calves. Going back. Let's go for another round. Then go around. Now, a Superman stretch. Let's go horizontally or vertically towards me. Oh. So, for Superman stretch, you're gonna be out with one foot and try to reach it with the same arm, and try to balance yourself like that. So make sure your body is horizontal or parallel to the floor. And yeah, you're gonna feel you're gonna feel a stretch right here in your hand and part of the way down your calf, just like the high kick. And we'll be doing that one back, 2 times from the green lines. Sound good? All right, 3, 2, and 1. So step out, reach down, pause for a second, then take another step, then another one, hold it, then back. If you lose balance, it's okay. Just make sure you pick yourself back up and jump back into it. Let's go one more round. With your standing leg, try to keep it straight so you can feel the stretch. And last one. And now we'll be moving on to the soccer ball. Thank you, soccer ball. Thank you. So for the soccer ball, we're going to be doing our regular warm-up, which includes toe taps, shadow boxing, and then a hybrid. So like I mentioned, toe touches, just toe touch. And then for shadow boxing, toe to toe. And then we're going to be combining the two after the set. So we'll be doing toe touches for 1 minute, and then shadow boxing for a minute, and then a hybrid for about 35 seconds. So toe touches in 3, 2, and 1. So try to go at a nice even pace with toe touches, so you have control of the ball. If you want to make it a challenge, you can try to move around with the ball with toe touches. So what I'm doing right now is going in a square and keeping control of the ball. About 15 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're doing shadow boxing, like I mentioned, just toe to toe like that. And so we're doing that in 3, 2, and 1. So just move the ball toe to toe, almost like the 2 feet are boxing each other. And the ball is kind of like our hands. So with this one, just keep control of the ball in between your feet. And if you lose control, it's all right. Just bring it right back in. If you want to do another challenge, you can try to move the ball again, like I did with the toe touches. So this time, be going in a square. Oops. See, it's all right. If you lose control, just bring it right back in. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So now we're going to be combining the two, which includes a toe touch, 2 of them, and then right after that, you do a little shadow box too. So in total it should be toe touch, shadow box, toe touch, shadow box, shadow. All right. We'll be doing that for about 35 seconds, starting in 3, 2, and 1. So toe touch, shadow box, shadow box. We'll go for another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So, know that was a pretty long warm up. We're gonna take a little break so y'all can get some water real quick, and I'll get some water too to refresh my energy. And once we come back, we'll be talking about Champions League. So, see you then.
Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first Nature Boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Chrissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin Headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine.
Coach Sergio back here. So today we'll be talking a little bit more about the Champions League and the finalists and who won each year. And today, unfortunately, we're not going to be guessing since Coach Rado is not with me today, so we can't have the guessing competition. So I'll just be talking to you directly about who the champion is, where it was played, how many attendance, like we usually do. And yeah, let me just step forward a little bit so you can see me. So I believe we left off on the 1973 to 74 Champions League, last time when Coach Rado was here. And his fan favorite, the one that he was guessing a lot, was Bayern Munich, who won that against Atletico Madrid. And they played in Brussels, Belgium, with a little bit over 72,000 in attendance. So, and like Coach Rado was mentioning, he remembered that Bayern Munich was on the rise in the tournament, which led to them more championships. So in the following year, in 1975 to 76, Bayern Munich again won the Champions League against I believe that's how you pronounce it, Saint Etienne, which is a team in France, which was played in Glasgow, Scotland, with almost 55,000 people in attendance. So let me just click on that year and give you a little bit more information. So there were 32 teams in that tournament, and there were 61 matches played in total. And there were about, is on average about 3 goals a game. And yeah. So let's see. So the goal in that match was scored by a player named Roth in the 57th minute. Now we'll move on to the 1976 to 77. So the final of that tournament was played in Rome, Italy, which was about exactly 7,000 people in attendance. The champion of that year was Liverpool from England, and they German teams. Let me just click on that year for a little bit more info. So, so it's exactly 2 teams, 61 matches played, and there were 155 goals scored in that tournament. 15th, 25th. And and they tied with 5 goals each for that tournament. Yeah. So in the following year, was going back up on the rise, and they won a lot of tournaments back in that country. Won a lot of tournaments back to back with different teams. So in that following year, in 1977-78, Liverpool again took the Champions League Cup, and they defeated Club Brugge in London, England, at Wembley Stadium, with 92.5 thousand people in attendance. Fan favorite, so high attendance, it's probably going to be a home team. So in that tournament, there were 31 teams, which is one less than the usual 32, and there were 59 matches played. And in that tournament, there were 106 goals. And the top scorer of that tournament was Alon goals. It was on, and they won a lot of tournaments back then. So in the 1978 to 79 tournament, England again took home the Champions League Cup, but this time Nottingham Forest took the Champions League title. The final was actually played in Munich. At the time was 57.5 thousand people in attendance for that final. So there were about 33 teams that played, which is one more played, with 185 goals scored in that tournament. Almost 3 goals. In 51,000. and cut back home. Five goals. Played top England, man, they're getting really, really strong during this time. In that tournament with 160 in 63 matches, and this is the third time. So they won it. So no, three teams. They won it consecutively. They brought the trophy back home. 1, 2, 3, 4. They will jump back into another time. I'm going to be doing some soccer exams, and we'll see how many consecutively I can do. Let's see how. Let's see if I can beat Coach Rado in the amount of attempts and time. And yeah. And you at home, you can try to keep up with me and see if you can beat me. But yeah, so I'll be sticking in the this little box I am right here. So first off is the regular exam. I believe that's what Coach Rado called it, which consists of usually 10 keepy-ups, 10 knees, 10 palms, 10 fists, 10 headers. But this time, I'm gonna be doing 20 since we are raising it up each week, which we did 20 last week, I believe. But this time, we're gonna do 20 again and see if I can keep it up. 20, ready in 3, 2, and 1. Moving 2, do my knee, all right. So I'm at 2, I'll start back as 1. So 1, 2, okay. Let's see if I can do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oops. All right, so I start back up at 11. So if you mess up at 9 or 18, that means you gotta jump back at 0. I passed the 9, which I'm at 11. So I start back off at 11. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 20 feet. Now moving on to knees. So 20 knees. Mess up at 9, 18, go back to 0. So let's see how many I could do in one row. So 1, 3, oop, went to my chest. Start at 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's 6. All right. Let's see if I can do more than 3 in one go. All right. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, I messed up at 19. All right. Got to jump back to 0. Since I did mess up at 19, it went a little bit farther out than my knee could reach. So, 1, oops, hit the mic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 is better than 9 or 18. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. 8. Almost messed up a 9. Just put the mic down right here since it's kind of getting in my way. Hopefully you can still hear me. So I was at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oops, hit the wall. 17. 3 more. I can do 3. Let's see. 18, 19, 20. All right, 20. Now, let's see if I can do 20 palms in a row, which I'm pretty sure I can. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 palms. Now I'm going on to fists. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now, moving on to headers. Let's see if I can perform 20 headers in a row. All right. So the trick with the headers, bend your knees a little bit and try to keep it in the air. Try to keep it right above you. Let's see if I can do those in one go. All right. 3, 2, and 1. 1, 2, 2. All right. 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of bounds a little bit. That's okay. Just bring it back in. So now I'm at 6. 14 more to go. 7, 8, 9. Oh, I messed up at 9. I was gonna go out of bounds. So that means I go back to 0. All right. 1, 2, 3, 5. Almost out of bounds. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oops, 11. So, 5 more to go. 12, 15, 16. Almost out of bounds again. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 20 headers. Now, the even bigger exam, which is try to do all in consecutive motions. Foot, palm, fist, head. Right? So let's see. Foot, knee, palm, fist, head. All right. Now the even bigger exam, which is one up and one down. So feet, knee, palm, fist, and header, and then another header back to my fist, palm, knee, and feet. All right. Let's see. All right. 3, 2, and 1. Feet, knee, palm, fist, header, header. Oh, palm, fist. Ah, messed up. So I had palm. So I had trouble transitioning to my. Let's see if I can get it down. Oop. All right. Starting 3. Fist, header. Oops. Header went a little bit behind me. It's all right. Just bring it back in. So, okay. All right. That was my third attempt on doing that. So now, I believe we just try to see how many we can get consecutively, which is the bigger exam. I think Coach Rado called it the biggest exam. But we're gonna see how many times I can do it consecutively in one go. So that's up and down, another up and down. That's all right. Let's see how many I can get down. Oops, went a little bit too far for me. All right. Oh, a little bit behind me. I did 1.5. So let's see if I can try to get two at least, because I did have trouble doing these at first. But you just gotta believe. All right. I added a couple bounces in because I couldn't get control of it. So let's see. Try to reach for 2. That's 2. Oops, and it went out of bounds. So I did 2 consecutively. That was my goal, but let's see if I can do 3 of these. All right, let's see. All right, just gotta focus. Try to plan out what you were gonna do. So plan out your first time, how you're gonna transition to the next one. All right, so let's do it. But, oops. Always about the first touch. This one. Did lose control after 1. Let's see. Header. Ooh. I was on my way down. So I did 1.5. All right, let's see. 1. Lost control of it again at 1.5. All right, let's see. 1, 2. I did do an extra bounce on my feet accidentally. So I believe that was 2. So almost at 3, but not quite yet. All right, let's see if I can do it this time. I didn't get the bounce high enough after my fist. So almost had 2.5, but I had trouble transitioning from the fist to my head on that second to last step. I'm almost there. I think we can do it. I think I can do it. Just gotta believe. All right. Let's see. Oops. All right. So I did lose control of it for a little bit, but this time you just gotta believe. All right. Let's see if I can do the next 3 attempts. If not, we'll do a little quick water break, and then we'll jump into more Champions League and have a little for y'all to do. So stay tuned for that. So, first attempt, let's get it. The bounce on my knee was not straight up, it went farther out. So that's my first attempt. All right, let's see. Bounce, again, it's all about the transition to the next bounce. So I had trouble transitioning from the fist to my head. All right, let's see. I did complete 2, but I messed up on the bounce. All right, let's do one more attempt, a little quick water break. So, let's see. All right, messed up on the transition from the feet, so I did complete 1, I think. But for now, we're gonna take a little quick water break, and then we'll jump back into more Champions League, and then back into the little project that I have for y'all. So, see you then.
Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first Nature Boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Chrissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks?
And now we're going to talk a little bit more about Champions League, which includes the champions, the top scorer, where the final was played, and how many people in attendance. And yeah, so we left off on the 1981-82, which Aston Villa defeated Bayern Munich in that tournament to claim their title. So now we'll be moving on to the 1982-83 tournament. And the final for that year was played in Athens, Greece, and there were 73.5 people, 73.5 thousand people in attendance. And the champion of that year was Hamburger SV from Germany, and they defeated Juventus from Italy 1-0. So let me click on details from that tournament. So there were 33 teams that played in that tournament with 61 matches played. And in those 61 matches, 180 goals was scored. So that's about 3 goals per match. And the top scorer for that tournament was Paolo Rossi with 6 goals from Italy. Let's see, did he play for Juventus? Let me see, let me check on my details. Yes, he indeed did play for Juventus for that tournament. And Juventus did make it to the final, but sadly they did not win. They did not win against Hamburg. So Hamburg, that was their first title in the Champions League, and they brought the championship back to Germany. And yeah, so that's in 1982-83. So in the 1983-84 tournament, England brought back the title of the Champions League back to England, and the champion for that tournament was Liverpool, and they defeated Roma, which is a team from Italy, and they defeated them in a penalty shootout. Man, I believe that's the first penalty shootout that we've seen in a tournament. Double check. Yeah, that is the first penalty shootout of the tournament, which was against Liverpool versus Roma. So the final was played in Rome, Italy, and there were almost 70,000 people in attendance for that final. Click on details for that. So this is Liverpool's 4th title of Champions League, and there were 32 teams that played in the tournament, and there were 59 matches played. So in those 59 matches, 165 goals. Again, that's almost 3 per match. And the top scorer for that tournament was Viktor Sokol with 6 goals. And he was from the Soviet Union in a team called Dynamo Minsk. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, Viktor Sokol scored 6 goals to claim the top scorer trophy. And yeah, so moving on to the 1984-85 tournament. So in this tournament, the final was played in Brussels, Belgium, with 58,000 people in attendance. And the title was won by Juventus from Italy. So after Italy going into the Champions League final 2 times in the previous years, they brought it back home this year with Juventus winning against Liverpool 1-0. And we just click on details. So there were 32 teams in the tournament and 61 matches played. In those 61 matches, 186 goals scored. So that is 3.05 goals per match. And the top scorers for that tournament was Torbjorn Nilsson, I believe is how you pronounce his first name, and Michael Platini from France. And Nilsson was from Sweden, and Platini was from France. And they both scored 7 goals each to claim the top scorer's title. Just click on details. So Nilsson was from Gothenburg, a team in Sweden, and Platini at the time played for Juventus. So he actually played in the champion. All right. So we'll move on to the last tournament before I give you your little project to do. So in the 1985-86 tournament, it was played in Sevilla, Spain, with 70,000 people in attendance. And the champion from this tournament is a team that we have not seen yet. Not sure how to pronounce this. S.T.E.A.M. Burgasi? I believe that's how I pronounce it. But they are a team from Romania. So this is the first time Romania has made it to the final and won the championship. And for this tournament, Bucuresti, sorry, that team defeated Barcelona in a penalty shootout. So this is the second penalty shootout that we've seen in the tournament. So click on little details. 31 teams played in the tournament with 59 matches played and 167 goals scored throughout the tournament. Top scorer again was Nilsson from Sweden with 7 goals. All right, so wrapping that up for the Champions League. So your little project that I have for y'all from today till next practice. So y'all are probably looking at these like, why is Coach Sergio holding up 2 pieces of cardboard? Well, funny story. Back then when I was a kid, and I had a Saturday game in the morning, I was super tired and I forgot to pack my shin guards with my uniform and all that. And on the way to once I got to the game and I was like dressing up, putting my socks on, I noticed that I forgot my shin guards. And you need shin guards in order to play a soccer game. And without them, you're not able to play. So there was a piece of me, and the game was about to start, so I had to think of something quick to play with. I got the piece of cardboard, ripped it up a little bit, and tucked it underneath my sock. Although the cardboard did not provide that much protection during that game, fortunately I did not get injured during that game, or there was no contact to my shins. But they did pass along as shin guards for me to play in for that game. So shin guards are meant to protect you, protect your shins. You should always wear shin guards when you're playing an actual soccer game. And the refs will indeed check to see if you have shin guards for a game. But the goal I have for y'all today, from today till next practice, so see if you can find any pieces of cardboard and cut them up into little rectangle pieces. And on those shin guards, I want you to write a couple goals that you have from yourself. So these goals can be from today till next practice, from 6 months from now, or a year from now. Just write down any goals that you have and that you can complete within that time frame. And once that time frame is complete, at the end, check to see if you complete your goals. So my goals are going to be from today till next practice, and we'll see if I can complete them. So I already wrote down 2 goals on one shin guard. And so for my first goal, I need to send emails to my professors. It is kind of funny, although I am in school right now at Sonoma State. So I need to send some emails to my professors to see how the classes are going to work and stuff. So that'll be my first goal. I'm pretty sure I can complete that from now till next practice. And for my second goal, I have run at least 15 miles from now till next practice. So I can go one 15-mile run, just get it over with, although I probably will be sore, or I can just break it down into little pieces and complete it like that. So yeah, so cut up some rectangle pieces, write some goals for yourself, and see how far you can complete them. And you can always hang these up somewhere just to remind yourself. Just like I will, I'll probably put this next to my bed to remind myself, like, oh, you have 2 goals to complete. So that's all we have time for practice today. I know it's kind of weird, just me today, but hopefully Coach Rado can join us next session. But yeah, so I'm Coach Sergio from Street Soccer, and I will see you next practice.
Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first nature boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Christie Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks! Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first nature boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Christie Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks! Hi kids! Hey Marquise! This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first Nature Boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Christie Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program.
Mr. Will, you're at the one and only Mixology Lab. In case you don't know what the Mixology Lab, it is the mixing of anything. Slime, food, paint, pasta, cheese, anything we can get our hands on and kind of remix it up. That's what we do here at the Mixology Lab. Before we get started, take this time, run to the restrooms, count them ABCs, say the ABCs, get them hands all nice washed up. Today, we are making Alfredo sauce. If you were here yesterday, we made salsa with very fresh ingredients. We're keeping our theme. We're keeping everything fresh. So we're making our own homemade mixology Alfredo sauce. If you're with me, show me those thumbs. If you're curious, put them to the side. Remember, never put them thumbs down. Woo! Guys, we're here. I already boiled my pasta. That's right there. That's done. That's ready to go. Things we'll be using today. Heavy whipping cream. Garlic. Cream cheese. Parmesan cheese and your favorite Italian cheese to go with it. Some Fretz mozzarella cheese. A little bit of fresh cheddar cheese. And of course, our California garlic and our ground black pepper. If you guys are excited, show me those thumbs. I'm excited with y'all. Very pleased. Well, we already got our heavy cream boiling up. Let's bust out that cream cheese. You want to add that in there also. Take our knife. Cut that open. Take the whole thing. Plop that on in there. Remember here, we always make a mess. If you've been to any of the science classes or any of my mixology labs, you know we throw down and we make a mess so you guys don't have to. So, cream cheese is in there. Take a little bit of our shredded cheese. Add that in there. All right, Parmesan cheese in there. A little bit of our garlic. Can't go wrong with that. A little pepper. And of course, some more garlic. Can man, I sure wish I had a spoon to mix this up. My favorite favorite camera guy. You see him here every week. Mr. CJ is gonna grab me a spoon. So, what we're basically gonna do is we're gonna keep heating this up until everything turns into a liquid / sauce. So basically melts down. Should be right next to the stove or in the sink. No? So we're gonna let that melt down. Oh, and I forgot. Can't forget our fresh mozzarella. The black one's fine. Black one's fine. Let's add that in there. Our fresh mozza. Now, as you can tell, this dish is cheesed out. I don't know if you guys like cheese like I do, but I like cheese. So this Alfredo sauce is going to be hitting the cheese spot. So we're just going to leave this on here and let it melt down. All right. Woo! All right, guys. Oh man, almost forgot. Almost forgot our cheddar. And we're just gonna add a little bit of cheddar for the flavor. Bust that back over here. All right, guys. Put that over here. We also have some fresh parsley. We're not going to put that onto our dish until it's about done. Things I found out today about Alfredo. This dish was named after an Italian restaurateur, Alfredo da Leo. At his restaurant, Alfredo, he's the one that came up with the name. So I believe what I was reading about this earlier is he had a restaurant, his wife got pregnant. While you're pregnant, you get these weird cravings. So she wasn't eating the traditional pasta sauce that he had at his restaurant. So he went to the lab, made something that he thought his wife might like. She tried it, she loved it, he put it on the menu. Another thing I found out, anyone born on February 7th, that's National Alfredo Day. Who knew that? Learning facts today. And I don't know about you guys, but I like Alfredo with shrimp, chicken, crab. It's one of the things I order when I'm at Olive Garden. It's delicious. I don't know what you guys like your Alfredo with. I usually get it with the traditional fettuccine pasta. Today we're kind of throwing it back old school and we're using the big fat elbows. You might be used to seeing these in mac and cheese, you know, that kind of stuff. That's what we're going to be using today. So just look how everything's breaking down and kind of coming together in our sauce. You'll know it's done when we don't have no more lumps. So we're going to keep going. And if we're curious where it is, take a fork. Hot. Don't try that at home, guys. Woo! Good. Very hot. You know, take that pasta, wipe that scalding cheese off your skin. Okay. Missing a little something. Let's hit it with a little more pepper. A little more garlic, because you can't go wrong with the garlic. Remember that parsley I was talking about? Bust it open. think we're almost there, guys. Keep mixing it. Now, the same concept that this is made with, you could take this and you can make this. You can make a nacho cheese. You would defer away from the Italian and Parmesan cheese and use more of like a mild / sharp cheddar / a jack cheese. You can use this for your macaroni and cheese as your cheese base. Once again, you can lean away from the Italian cheeses and go more with the mild orange cheeses. This is almost done. We'll let it cook down a little bit more as I look at the burns on the fingers. Okay, guys, we can keep that like that. We can put this like right here. Always add a little extra garlic to my noodles. I don't know, I'm just kind of a garlic person. A little bit of pepper. Look at that cheese. It's almost there, guys. Just because we feel some type of way, we can always... There's no such thing as too much cheese. Alright, guys, before we go, I'll explain my other things. Remember, composting, guys. What goes in the green? Food scraps, yard waste, empty milk cartons. What goes in the blue? Plastics, cardboards, please cardboards that don't have any kind of oil soaked into them or any kind of food that's on them. It makes the people at the plant's job a little bit harder. We want to make it easy on them. We care about our planet. Let's introduce our guy. He comes on the show every day. He's here mostly every week. He controls the camera when I'm on deck. I control the camera when he's on deck. You guys know him as Mr. CJ. I know him as a yoga man. He's coming to the stage. Give him that big old round of applause because I know you guys can. How's it going? How's it going?
Good news. What we got on?
We got our cheese face mask today. No. Today we have our business made Alfredo. I would say ham, but we're in our business today, so it's our business made Alfredo sauce.
Well, it smells good, looks good, and just to let you know, fun fact about me, Alfredo is like my favorite dish. So anything pasta, anything Italian. So
He's an
I think
Alfredo.
it's a good day to be on the show. So.
Man, he sure did. So what do you normally get with your Alfredo?
I put shrimp in it, any seafood, anything seafood. So shrimp, crab, anything like that.
Okay, so we have big shoes to fill, guys. He orders Alfredo wherever he goes. McDonald's, Burger King, he's asking for that Alfredo.
Normally they say no, but you know.
Yeah, you got to ask, right? Does it look correct? How's it looking to you? You said it smells good. Does it look like it's coming together?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks very, very cheesy. I mean, how much cheese did you put? What type of cheeses did you get?
Mozzarella, cheddar, Parmesan. We did it all. A little bit of that. That's our heavy whipping cream.
Is this the first time you putting this together? You've been doing it?
This is the first time I'm making the sauce. Usually I'm watching someone else make it for me.
Well,
so,
like you know what you're doing. So.
I think we're just about done with that. So let's add it to our nice bowl. Looks like everything went down well. sauce on noodles.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Mix that up for me. Let me know how that's looking. Does that meet your standards?
Very saucy, that's for sure. That is very cheesy. So, cheeses.
It's fine. More sauce or we good? How you feeling?
About a little bit more sauce. Just not too much.
We're hitting with a little bit more because you know why, guys? He asked for it.
That should get the job done.
Hear that sound, guys? That's how you know your pasta is on point. Listen to that sound. You'll remember that when you guys get older and you're in the kitchen. 2 bowls.
And your seasoning, you just put. I don't want you to put. Tell me that special seasoning if you got a different type of seasoning. But the seasoning you normally did was just salt and pepper.
Yeah, if I was at home, I would probably use this seasoning called Nature Seasoning. It's my one go-to seasoning I get all the time. Garlic powder kind of lead the way towards garlic salt because things already have a lot of salt in them. So you want to lean towards powders. Check your seasoning because a lot of those seasonings that say they don't come with salt still have salt in them. So, like always, try it. And we'll just compare it to other Alfredos you had.
Okay.
It's good in my book.
It's real good.
I wish I could, guys.
I mean, normally when I use the actual Alfredo noodles or the fettuccine noodles, but
not bad. It has the cheese. It has that taste. One thing I would say it's missing is just missing probably that meat aspect of it to kind of take it over the edge. Maybe some broccoli to complement it. It's good,
But
guys.
by itself with the sauce and the noodles, if you just had sauce and noodles and you didn't want to have any meat with it, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this. Very cheesy. If you're not a big cheesy type person, then you're gonna have your feelings. But
if you're not a big cheesy type person, you want to use half this carton of whipping cream, half milk, and just probably like a half a bag of just Parmesan cheese. Call it a day. But I know the people here are all cheese lovers like myself, so we kind of took a lot of the leftover cheeses we had from other stuff and kind of just threw them in there to utilize everything we have because this is our last week and we don't want anything to come to waste. So once again, this has Parmesan in it. It has shredded mozzarella, fresh cheddar cheese, and cream cheese to kind of give it a thick, rich taste. Can you taste the cream cheese? You can taste the cream cheese.
you can taste, cream cheese. You have a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there. I do. You said you put cheddar in there. I don't taste the sharp cheddar, but everything else
You can taste. It's pretty good, guys. I don't know. We just keep doing it and getting it done. I'm glad you guys come here and you do this with me. It's delicious. Well, me and him are going to finish this bowl off because, we got to get him into yoga. My heart is getting heavy, guys, because I'm going to miss you guys after this week. Hopefully we can get you back here in the fall and we can continue doing great things. I had a great time today. Hope you guys had a great time today. Show me those thumbs. Make sure they're pointing up in the air. Please like, subscribe, share, do what you do. See you guys tomorrow. We only got 2 more episodes left. Peace, love, meditate. It's not magic, it's science. And remember, always stop by to get that growth mindset from Miss Sydney. This is your host, Will, signing off for today. Have a good one.
Yeah. You gonna clean up, I'm gonna keep eating.
Okay.
All right, how about that?
So he's gonna eat while I clean, guys. Wink, wink. Later, guys. Enjoy it. You know, if I had my song playing right now, I'd be like, wipe, wipe.
Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first nature boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national park lands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Chrissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks! Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first nature boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Crissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks! Hi kids! Hey Marquise! This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first nature boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Crissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 200
Welcome to another episode of Yoga with CJ. We just made amazing pasta, one of my favorites, foods, Italian food, pasta that we made in the mixology lab with Mr. Will. Shout out to him for that. And now we ate, feeling good. Now we're gonna make sure our mind and our body is right as well. So this is the last week of our summer program. Hopefully you can join us again in the fall and we can redo everything that we've done, learn some new stuff and go from there. We only have 3 more episodes, 2 more after this. And today we're gonna do what we've been doing all this week. This week is just a big review, and we're gonna do some standing poses, some sit down poses, and we're gonna bring the chair back because me and the chair is best friends, and we're gonna make sure that works. So before I do that, we're gonna start off with what we normally start off with. First, you need your water. If you have music, some meditation music, some music that's get you in the groove, get your mind right, get your mind together and open. Then make sure you have a mat. You don't have a mat, then have a blanket, a towel, something like that. If you have a chair, if you don't have a chair, then you can do the same poses that we're gonna do in the chair without the chair. So it's the same exact poses that we're gonna be doing. So if you don't have a chair, you don't need one. But we're gonna be using the chair today. And before I go, we're gonna start off with some light stretches, light workouts. So we're gonna straight open the legs, and then we're gonna hold for 20 to our left side, would be your right side. And we're gonna hold, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. In the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. To the right side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Arms, holds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I got ahead of myself. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Shoulder holds. Knee hugs. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. So we got our lower body stretched out and ready to go. Now we can get into our poses. First pose of the day is the side angle pose. And this pose actually provides a deep stretch in your hamstrings, also improves stamina. And this pose strengthens out your legs, your knees, and your ankles. And that helps us out. That's why I started with those stretches, so we can get our lower body stretched out and ready to go, because we're going to be doing a lot of leg work. So we don't make sure that we don't want to hurt ourselves. We want to do yoga, but we want to do it responsibly and safely. So that's why I always start with the stretch. And here we go with the side angle pose. And that opens up our legs. I'm gonna turn this way. You're gonna lean sideways, reach over, then we're gonna hold. Got a deep stretch in your hamstrings, in your knees, your ankles. Now we're gonna switch. Deep breath. Back to the middle. And like I said before, this provides a deep stretch in your hamstrings and improves stamina, and also strengthens out your legs, your knees, and your ankles. I don't know about you, but I do feel the stretch, feel the pull in the leg muscles, your hamstrings. So it's a good starter. And now I'm about to go into our next pose, which is the high lunge. So it's I'm gonna stretch out, a lot of stretching. I'm gonna hold my hands up, and we're gonna hold. About 2 more deep breaths. One more. Now we're gonna switch. If you've been here since day one, you already know if you do one thing to one side, you gotta do it to the other side. So deep stretch. And this pose actually helps you helps with mobility in your hips, and it works on your feet. So it works on your feet muscles to make sure you have strong ankles, strengthens your legs, and improves your balance and stability. So arms up. About 2 more deep breaths. Now back to the middle. And like I said, that mobilizes your hips. It works on your foot muscles, strengthens out your legs, improves balance and stability. And I always like to say this, balance can be for yoga and in life as well, maintaining your balance, finding your purpose. And so that's always important to me. So in yoga and in life. So now we're about to go into our next pose, which is the low lunge. And this pose actually releases tension in your hips, your shoulders, your hamstrings, your quads, strengthens out your knees, works on helping with mental focus as well. So, and it's the same thing as the high lunge, but as in the name, you're just gonna go a little lower than what you did in the high lunge. So high lunge we was about here. Low lunge we're gonna go even deeper and go further down. And we're gonna hold. And like I said before, that this might seem like we've done this before, and we have. That's why this is a review. Repetition is very important. Doing something over and over, making sure that you understand it, is very important. So that's why it's gonna seem like we've done this over and over, but in reality, it's really so you know what to do and how to do it. And when I say this is the pose that we're going to do. And we're gonna switch. 2 more times. One more time. And back to the middle. Now this is our first chance to take a debrief break or intermission, as you like to say, and get a chance to meditate a little bit. This also is yoga, but there is a little bit of meditation that goes along with it. So, here we go. You like to close your eyes as well, that's fine. About 2 more deep breaths. One more. A little stretch out. Hold your legs for about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're gonna go into our next pose, which is the frog pose. And this pose actually opens up your hip joints, which reduce strain on your knees. And this pose actually stretches out and strengthens your lower back. So, arms on the inside, and we're gonna hold. Feet flat, and we're gonna hold. About 2 more deep breaths. And back to the center. And with the frog pose, like I said, it opens up your hip joints, reduces strain on your knees, strengthen your lower back as well. So, now we're going to our next pose, which is the half Florida fish pose. This pose actually stretches out your shoulders, your hips, your neck, your spine, and it works with fatigue and backaches. So, one leg, so how we've been doing it, we start off with one leg bent, one leg over, and then you're gonna twist, and you're gonna hold. About 2 more deep breaths. One more. And then we're gonna switch. I'm coming back to the middle. And before we go to our next pose, I'd like to take another chance to 1 minute of deep breathing. About 30 seconds. You don't need a full minute. I'll wait for a full minute till we get to the end. But right now, 30 seconds, chance to get some water. If we want to just sit there and focus on your breathing. You can do that, but while you're doing that, like I just said, this pose that we just did with the half Lord of Fish, this pose stretches out your shoulders, your hips, your neck, your spine, and it relieves from fatigue and backaches. So about 15 seconds, about 2 more deep breaths, and then we can go into our next pose. So now I'm going to go to our next pose, which is the side plank. And this pose stretches out and strengthens your wrists, your forearms, your shoulders, and your spine. This pose opens up your hips and hamstrings as well. So you start on your stomach, flip to your side, both legs up on your forearm, lift up and hold. I'm going to switch sides. And do the same exact thing that we did. Lift up, hold, reach over, two more deep breaths. I'm coming back to the middle. And now, what we all been waiting for, our next set of poses. Let's see, how do I want to put this one? Our next set of pose is going to be the chair seated twist. One is straight. Yeah, we can do it straight. So, with this pose actually tones and strengthens your spine muscles, and it works on your lower back and your neck. So, you're gonna start off facing forward in your chair. They could go to either side, doesn't matter which side you go to. So I'm gonna start off on to my right side, and then while I'm doing that, I'm turning and twisting while I'm holding the back of the chair, and we're gonna stretch out your lower back and your spine. So here we go. About 2 more deep breaths. One more. And now we're going to switch sides. 2 more deep breaths. One more. Now we're back to the middle. Unfortunately, we're coming close to the end of time, but I ended with the chair pose, which means tomorrow I will pick up where I left off, and that is, I'm going to start off with the chair pose as well. So, before I go, just for a chance to take a minute to deep breathe and deep breath and meditate. So, find your special place, your happy place, a place that you like to go for peace. And here we go. About one more deep breath, deep in. So, that's going to be the rest of our class for today. We're down to the nitty-gritty. It's getting time to the end of the summer, unfortunately. I had fun doing this. Only 2 more episodes for all of us here. Hopefully you're able to join us. And we have science coming next. So Mr. Daniel, if you saw last episode, it was amazing. More stuff coming for you. So before I go, I always like to finish off with make sure that everyone is staying safe out there. 6 feet, got your mask, got your hand sanitizer. I'm going to keep putting it out there until we get better. As we hear it, the more we get to do it, the more it comes natural and to us, and the better we can become, and the better we can get back to
Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first nature boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Christie Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks! Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first Nature Boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national park lands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Christie Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks!
What's up guys, Mr. Daniel. I'm back for another episode of Awesome Science. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some mindfulness and some yoga with Mr. CJ. You know I did, stretching out a little bit. And hopefully you got some food, made some awesome, delicious pasta with Mr. Will. And now we're ready to get our minds going. So of course, I'm gonna start you guys off with a question first. What was the property that was discussed yesterday? Basically, I'm not gonna tell you the word, but definition for it is about the definition for it is how much stuff is packed into volume. And I'm gonna leave that in your guys' mind. I'm gonna let you guys think about that. Keep that in mind while I continue with my experiment. So what are you gonna need today? Of course, the materials. So like always, everything you see here we've used before. And if we haven't, they're common household items that you can find at home. Okay, so we're gonna need some food coloring. So I have yellow and orange here. Preferably you guys can get red and blue, just to, because we're gonna do something really cool. I have rubbing alcohol. I have olive oil, but any oil is okay. Although olive oil, you're probably better off with olive oil. I got honey. I have dish soap and water. And the quantities of each is about 3.5 ounces, liquid ounces. So if you guys can get that exact amount, that'd be fine, that'd be perfect. But any amount is fine as long as they're all exactly the same. So you guys have like maybe half a cup, a quarter of a cup or something. As long as they're equal amounts, you can go ahead and use that. I also have my matches that we've used before because we are gonna be playing with fire today a little bit. So because of that, you guys are gonna need your safety goggles. And of course, like I said, we're always gonna reduce, reuse, recycle. So we're gonna go ahead and reuse the container for the olive oil that we poured out earlier. And you're gonna need eggs. So I have my eggs here. But on top of regular eggs, you're also gonna need a hard-boiled egg. Got mine. And you're gonna have to take off the eggshell. But before you take the eggshell, don't do that just yet. I want you guys, we're gonna try something else before you take the eggshell. So I have my hard-boiled egg, my regular eggs. Up them right here. I'm gonna go ahead and use that later. And then a spoon, or anything that you can use to mix. Okay. So, today, I wanna start off with something small, something cool. We've been using eggs all week, so I might as well try some more new experiments. And I wanna give you guys an update on the experiment from yesterday. Remember the egg that was supposed to sink and one was supposed to float when we put the salt water? Well, the issue was that my egg was too old, so that's why it didn't sink. But if you conducted the experiment how it was supposed to work, we would throw one egg in a glass full of water and it would sink. And then we'd toss another egg in a glass full of water and salt, mix around the salt, throw in the egg, and then it would float. And remember the property I told you guys to keep in mind earlier? Well, I'm talking about density. So density is what's affecting that experiment, and we're going to go ahead and take advantage of density today. But basically, the density of the egg is higher than the water, which just means it's more stuffed, compact, in a certain amount of volume. So sometimes people tend to correlate it with weight, but that doesn't give us the exact density of an item, or doesn't exactly mean something's more dense than something else. But basically, the egg is more dense than water when it's fresh. So unfortunately, the eggs I had yesterday were old. So that means that the pocket of air inside of the yolk inside of the egg was releasing air, and the pocket of air built up inside the egg, which means it was the water was then more dense, and the air inside was trying to push out, and that's what made it float both times, even though one was supposed to sink. But you guys try to go home, try it with some fresh eggs, drop one in, see what happens. Drop the other one in a combination of water and salt, and let me know how that goes. Okay. So since we've been talking about eggs, might as well continue using some eggs. So I want you guys to try something simple, something quick, something fun. So I want you guys to take 2 regular eggs, and I have a hard-boiled egg. And I want you guys, I'm gonna mix them around behind my back, and I'm gonna spin them around, and then I want you guys to guess which one's which. Okay. So pay close attention and observe how they spin. Okay, that's one. All right, that's 2. Oh, and that's 3. So I'm gonna do that one more time. Do you guys notice a difference here? I want you guys to guess which one's which. Spin that one. And I promise you guys I'm applying the same amount of pressure and the same force in the same direction on all 3 of them, sorry. But basically, if you guys are guessing right, remember I had 2 regular eggs and 1 hard-boiled egg. Well, this one's a hard-boiled egg, and it's spinning faster, and why is that? It's because it's more compact, more dense, and now that it's hard-boiled, everything in there is already solid, while here we have the yolk that's swishing around the egg, pushing it in different directions, maybe in the opposite direction, and it's flying away, and it's not working as right. So I have a solid, the egg and the solid is compact, and the weight is pushing it around, allowing it to spin longer. So if you're not sure which egg you have is boiled, maybe you got them mixed up, maybe you can do a little spin test. Also, you can do the water test from yesterday. So again, these eggs are old, so I can't do it, but you dump it in water, a regular fresh egg should sink, your hard boil, you should toss it in there, and it should float, because again, the air pressure inside. All right, just something cool, a neat fact. Now, Mr. CJ could grab for me a little container I have under the sink, or next to it, just a glass empty container so I can stack this up. But basically what we're gonna do today is we're gonna make a rainbow. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be cool, and we're gonna take advantage of density. So that's why I told you guys to keep these materials here. So keep that in mind. And for food coloring, preferably again, you want red and blue, and we're gonna mix it into our water. For now, I'm gonna leave it on the side, but I wanna continue with this egg topic that we've been discussing. So I'm gonna go reuse my container for the olive oil. I'm gonna leave this here, and I'm gonna grab a match. Now what you can do is grab a piece of paper. I recommend cardboard paper, or actually, if you don't have cardboard paper, you can actually use a note card, or flashcards. Some people call them flashcards. And I want you guys to take a piece. I'm gonna go ahead and rip that. You want it pretty decent amount of length. Maybe it goes all the way inside. So don't drop it in yet. I'm just testing it out the length. Okay, that's a little too short. You probably want to get it 2/3 of the way in. And remember, 2/3 means that you were divided in 3 equal parts. Kind of looks like this, but just a glass. Empty glass. Maybe it's on the sink. You want it 2/3 means you divide this into 3 equal parts, and you fill out 2 of those parts, you get 2/3. Okay, so this is a little too short. Leave it on the side because I'm gonna use that for later for something else. Yeah, but longer. This is like a longer one. Oh, okay, that's fine. Thank you. Maybe yeah, I could use that. Okay, let's see. That was a little too long. About 2/3 of the way. Okay. So now I'm gonna put on my goggles because the next step is we're gonna take our matches and we're gonna light this on fire. Actually, could you pass me that note card, that flashcard paper? So I'm gonna get another flashcard paper in case you actually have flashcard at home. Thank you. And I already have a pre-cut and ripped piece right here. So I'm assuming most people probably have a flashcard actually, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that first. So I'm gonna take my match and make sure you have your hard-boiled egg ready, but make sure it's peeled. So the one we used earlier, don't toss it away. Peel it, and we're gonna use it again for our experiment. We're gonna grab this, take our lighter, and again, be safe. I recommend adult supervision actually. If you're younger than 15 years old, please get adult supervision before you light this on. So I'm gonna light this, catch cardboard paper on fire. Okay, that's okay. Let it burn for a little bit. Go ahead and toss that in. You place your egg on top. Oh, I didn't burn long enough, but I'm gonna try one more time. We're gonna let our air go out. Remember we talked about hot air rises, so that's why it's coming out. We're gonna let that come out for a little bit. We'll light it one more time. Okay, we'll go ahead and toss that in there. We're gonna wait. Okay, if you notice, when I put the egg on top, it actually puts out the smoke and the fire. So what's happening here is, in order for a fire to continue burning, you actually need oxygen. So once we're blocking this out, there's no air coming in anymore. The air pressure is building inside, and there's no more oxygen to feed the fire. But we need to try this one more time. Tried it earlier, I promise guys it works. But what's supposed to happen is you burn it, you place it in here, it warms up, place the egg over it, and then the air pressure, because it's condensing. So remember how I told you guys about air pressure and how it's always around you, pushing you in. You might not feel it, that's because you're used to it. But there's air pressure coming in from everywhere. Air is pushing around us all the time. So the air pressure inside and outside are the same because of the temperature. They're the same temperature outside and inside the bottle. That's why the air pressure is not crushing it. So when I do this, once the air pressure builds up, it's gonna suck in the egg. So if you're doing this correctly, the fire should put out and it'll suck in the egg into the bottle. So I wanna keep trying because I got this to work earlier. I'm not sure what's going on this time. We're doing one more time. Ooh. It's going out as soon as I put it in. Alright. So I'm gonna toss some matches in here actually. So it's already. Yeah, it's going out already. Alright, one more time. I don't want to give up, guys. It's a pretty cool experiment. I tried it earlier. It took me a couple tries. Let's see, it's the same thing again. I'm gonna try one more time. And again, keep watching because on Thursday we're gonna go over every single failed experiment, see how it worked, see what didn't, and we're gonna make it work. This is how I told you guys about how the egg one, why it didn't work yesterday. Now you know why. Thursday I'm gonna go over it and do it again. Oh, there we go. That was nice. Ooh, it seems like when I put it head in first, it puts out. I think it's too late. Now the temperature in here, it's already too hot. So for us to make it to work, you're gonna have to rinse this out. Oh, there's also water in there somehow. Okay. All right, I promise. Last time, I want to make sure it works. Oh, what? Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. This I'm gonna drop it this way. Yeah, so it's going out because there's already too much hot air inside the bottle from before. But hopefully you guys can get it to work. So we'll recommend maybe build it longer, rip it longer, burn it and make sure it's nice and on fire. I think my first one wasn't too lit. So make sure yours is nice and lit and the fire's actually burning. Throw it in there and put the egg right away. It's gonna be a little hard to do after, yeah. All right, we'll try it again on Thursday. But there you go. I told you guys what's supposed to happen. And it's all about air pressure. We'll continue talking about it later. So let's continue with our rainbow experiment. So first thing we're gonna do is you're gonna measure out your ingredients. And I have 3.5 ounces on each. So if you guys don't have that, maybe try 1/4 of a cup or a tablespoon, whatever works best for you depending on the container. I have, this one's pretty big, so I'm gonna go ahead and try this one. Or maybe I should try, I think I'm gonna go ahead with this one. Okay, so first what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our honey. I'm gonna go ahead with this one. So I'm gonna pour in our honey. Okay. Now, if you wanna add food coloring, I'm gonna go ahead and add food coloring. Add some yellow. You don't have to, but I wanted to give it a nice look. I want it to look like a rainbow. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. So I poured in my honey. It's looking nice and dark. Okay. Next up, I'm gonna get some napkin. Actually, make sure you don't have any or that much honey residue left over, because we are going to stack the liquids again using the property we discussed called density. All right. Next, we're going to put on our dish soap. You might want to tilt it, so because you want it in slowly, so ingredients don't mix. Even though they shouldn't anyways because of the density. Sometimes you get a little bit of residue in there. Next, we're gonna add our water. Yeah, making sure, yep, this is my water. So I'm gonna add some green. Then you can use whatever colors you want. Actually, for the honey, I recommend red and blue. Go ahead and mix that in. Okay. So the water has to be a little bit more careful. I actually dropped it a little too hard, but there you go. You can see the honey, then the layer. So my green kind of mixed with the soap, and then the water on top. Next, we're gonna add our olive oil. Okay, and last and not least, add a rubbing alcohol. And this one I kind of wanted it a little bit red. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna mix my green and my yellow and see what other color we get. Remember, yellow is a primary color. Green is secondary color. So go ahead and mix that. See what color we get. It's more yellow. Want it to stand out a little bit. Now you have more food coloring options than me. It would look a lot nicer and you get a better looking rainbow. I'm gonna add a rubbing alcohol. Okay, so I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up. Oh, actually, yeah, I think it will. I'm gonna let it settle for a little bit. So you should be able to see all the layers here. So I can see it at an angle, but I can't see it straight up on here. So you should have your honey, you should have your dish soap, you should have your water, your olive oil, and then your rubbing alcohol on top. But hopefully you guys have better options than myself when it came to food coloring, because these all just came out looking at blues or dark greens. So it's not such a pretty rainbow, but I couldn't find my red food coloring. So unfortunately it doesn't look that nice. But yeah, if you do it at home, so I recommend is the honey, but mix the honey with red and blue. Get dish soap. Any color is fine. Blue would probably look nice, that's why I use blue. Then you use the water, and that one you make green. Then the olive oil. And then after that, and the olive oil is kind of a yellowish. And then after that, rubbing alcohol, but I mix the rubbing alcohol with red. And then you'd have a nice, pretty little rainbow going on. There we go. As it slowly separates. So I hope the camera's picking that up. But my angle, I can see it when I'm centered. I'm sorry, I'm amazed by it, looking at it. So how is this working? Okay, remember we talked about density. So that's what's happening here. And we talked about polarism. So these all have different polarities, and which means they might not be cohesive. So remember, cohesive means it sticks to itself. Adhesive means it sticks to other materials, so they're not very adhesive or cohesive depending on the liquid. They're also more dense than one another. So the honey is probably the most dense one, that's why it's all the way at the bottom. You got a dish soap's pretty dense, then water. Water is interesting, that's why it's kind of tricky if you mix it with dish soap, the dish soap and then the water, because again, water is polar. Remember, what's the polarity? Polarity means it can stick to other things. It is positive and negative in one end, positive one end, negative on another end. So it's allowed it to stick to each other, kind of like magnets. You know how magnets stick to each other, opposites attract. So when you pour in the water, since it's so polar, which is what makes it a great dissolvent, you got to make sure you tilt the glass and then pour the water maybe slower. A little slower than I did. And then after the water, we have the oil. And remember, experiment. We made lava lamps. We made snowstorms, and we used the concept of density and polarity. And oil and water don't mix, so that's exactly why the oil is right on top of the water. And then on top of that, we have the rubbing alcohol, which is the least dense out of all the liquids. So we combine a lot of the knowledge we learned: polarity, We learn primary and secondary colors. We learn density. We learned about cohesiveness and adhesiveness and being adhesive, and we combined all of that. We got a nice little rainbow going on. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and clean this up. All right. That is gonna be compostable. It's a compostable plastic. So after all, hopefully you guys learned a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and try the egg experiment a little bit better hopefully next time. So Thursday, keep tuned for tomorrow, because we are gonna be making elephant toothpaste, which is probably gonna be my favorite experiment out of all that we've done this entire summer. So be on the lookout. Make sure you have some yeast. That's probably the one common material, or the one material that's not commonly found in a household. Remember, I tell you guys we're gonna reduce, reuse, recycle. Well, make sure you have some yeast, some dry yeast, because tomorrow we're gonna make probably what I think is gonna be our most fun experiment. So hopefully you learned a little bit today, enjoyed the lesson, and hopefully your egg experiment went a little better than mine, but that's okay. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first Nature Boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national parklands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Crissy Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin Headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks! Hi kids, hey Marquise. This is Jennifer Green from the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and I'm here at Land's End in San Francisco. Today is Booker T's first Nature Boost. Did you know that we have thousands of acres of national park lands right in our city? Like at Ocean Beach, or Christie Field, or here at Land's End, or across the bay, even in all the Marin Headlands. I bet you live close to a city park. Did you know that we have over 220 city parks in San Francisco? And you may not know that every one of us lives 10 minutes walk from one of those parks. Okay, here's my last question. Who do you think owns those parks? You're right, you do. So get outside and get into one of your parks. Or simply get outside just to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. Then come back and enjoy another awesome Booker T program. See you next time for another Booker T Nature Boost. Thanks!
Enjoyed your fun-filled day with Mr. Daniel, Mr. CJ, and Mr. William. And today we're going to continue our series of books this week and a few questions that I want to propose to you guys. So, a question I want to first ask is, what is beauty? So according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, beauty is defined as the quality or aggregate of qualities in a person or thing that gives pleasure to the senses or pleasurably exalts the mind and spirit. Helen Keller once described beauty as the most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. If you're not familiar with who Helen Keller is, Helen Keller is a author and a great speaker who was diagnosed with being blind and deaf. So she had limited senses, but she believes that beauty is neither seen or touched, but only felt. So we are going to read a book called Something Beautiful by Sharon Dennis Willett. And so I want you guys to keep in mind that question of what is beauty and what are some things that you find to be beautiful. A few things that I find to be beautiful is music, art, food can be beautiful, even a smile. Those are things that I find to be beautiful because it makes me feel happy or something within my heart and my spirit. So, let's get started with this book, Something Beautiful. Excuse me. Also illustrated by K. Soen Poet. When I look through my window, I see a brick wall. There's trash in the courtyard and a broken bottle that looks like a fallen stars. There is writing in the halls of my building. On the front door, someone put the word die. Where I walk, I pass a lady whose home is a big cardboard carton. She sleeps on the sidewalk, wrapped in plastic. I run past a dark alley where Mommy told me I must never stop, Behind the fence, there is a garden without any flowers. Mommy said that everyone should have something beautiful in their life. Where is my something beautiful? The teacher taught me the word in school. I wrote it in my book. Beautiful. Beautiful. I think it means something that when you have it, your heart is happy. I go to Miss Delphine's diner. Hi there, sugar pie, says Miss Delphine. What are you up to? I'm looking for something beautiful, I tell her. Sit down for a minute, she says as she goes to the grill. She puts on fish. The fish sizzles. Miss Delphine makes it into a sandwich. There's nothing more beautiful tasting than my fried fish sandwiches, she tells me. My teeth sink in. That's good. When I go back outside, I see some of my friends. Do you have something beautiful? I ask them. I have my jump rope, says Siebel. I have my beads, says Rebecca. Check out my new shoes, says Jamal. My fruit store is one beautiful store, says Mr. Lee. You do have nice apples, I say. Thank you, says Mr. Lee. Take one. Watch my moves, says Mark, playing ball on the playground. Hear my sounds, says Georgina, dancing on the sidewalk. Touch this smooth stone, says old Mr. Sims, sitting on the front steps. All these years I have carried it in my pocket. Through the big window in the laundrette, I see Aunt Carolyn holding baby Carl. And where are you off to, little miss? She asks me. I'm looking for something beautiful, I say. She hands me Carl and holds up the clothes. I tickle Carl and he giggles. He makes me giggle too. My baby's laugh is something beautiful, says Aunt Carolyn. I go back home and sit down on my stoop. I look at the trash in my courtyard. I see the word die on my door. I go upstairs and got a broom and a sponge and some water. I put up the trash, I sweep up the glass. I scrub the door very hard. When dye disappears, I feel powerful. Someday I'll plant flowers in my courtyard. I'll invite all my friends to see. I will give a real home and a real bed to the lady who sleeps in a cardboard carton. She will sing and I will hear her song. Mommy comes home from work. She gives me a great big hug. Do you have something beautiful? I ask her. Of course, she says. I have you. And that is the end of our story, Something Beautiful. How did you guys enjoy the story? What are some things that our narrator had found to be beautiful? If you can remember, she had found Miss Delphine's fried fish sandwich. Her friends had a few things to show her, like Jamal's shoes. And even Mr. Sims had a nice smooth rock in his pocket, and he keeps it with him, and that's something that he finds beautiful. And even to the end, when the narrator, little girl, asked her mother if she had something beautiful. She said it was her. So how can can we define something as beautiful? And what makes something beautiful? So I want to give you guys a few terms to think about while we explain some philosophies behind beauty, from some great thinkers and great philosophers that you guys should know. But before we get into that, I want to give you the term objective. So objective is defined as not influenced by personal feelings or opinions. And then subjective is based on or influenced by personal feelings, taste, or opinions. So we're going to start with David Hume's philosophy on beauty. So David Hume says about beauty, beauty is no quality in things themselves. Beauty is no quality in things themselves. It exists merely in the mind which contemplates them. And each mind perceives a different beauty. One person may even perceive deformity, where another is sensible of beauty. And every individual ought to acquiesce in his own sentiment without pretending to regulate those of others. So that's a really wordy way of describing and defining beauty, but basically what Hume believes is that the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, which means that beauty is based off of our subjective opinion on what is beautiful and what is not. And we define what is beautiful on our own, due to our own perceptions. So it exists merely in the mind which contemplates them. So that's another way of saying beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so the ability to detect or experience beauty is based on personal feelings, taste, or opinion. So this is what Hume believes about beauty. Another great philosopher is Immanuel Kant, and he has an opposing opinion on how we perceive beauty. So this is what he has to say. We easily see that in saying it is beautiful, and in showing that I have taste, I am concerned not with that in which I depend on the existence of the object, but with that which I make out of this representation in myself. I'm going to read that again to help get that process through your head, okay? We'll read over that sentence. We easily see that in saying it is beautiful and in showing that I have taste, I am concerned not with that in which I depend on the existence of the object, but with which I make out of this representation in myself. Everyone must admit that a judgment about beauty in which the least interest mingles is very partial and is not a pure judgment of taste. So I'm going to read the last sentence again, and then we're going to break it down. So, where we're at. Everyone must admit that a judgment about beauty in which the least interest mingles is very partial and is not a pure judgment of taste. So, Kant believes that beauty is an objective opinion. One can argue with another person if something is beautiful or not. So Kant argues that judgment must be made objectively, which is not influenced by personal feelings or opinions, and independently from typical human desire. So Kant believes so the definition that I told you guys earlier about beauty, if in the Merriam-Webster, Kant would disagree with it, Because according to the definition in Merriam-Webster, something beautiful or beauty comes from what gives pleasure to our senses and what we in our mind and spirit. But Kant believes that our senses and mind and spirit, we should separate that desire from our objective opinion about what is beautiful and what is not. So, can you define beauty? I will just give you guys this idea. So, knowledge is often based on our beliefs. And our beliefs are derived from, okay, so knowledge is often based on our beliefs, but we then take that knowledge as pure fact. But our beliefs is a subjective, meaning influenced our personal feelings, tastes, or opinions. It is a subjective mental interpretation derived from perception, reasoning, and communication. So we form our beliefs based off of our subjective opinion of what is important and what is not, and what we value. And it then comes from, interpreted from, our perception, the way that we see things, the way we experience things, our reasoning, which is how we interpret, or our reasoning would be like how we reason out or ration or logically make sense of something. And our communication is that of how we receive that knowledge and how it is then given to us. So our beliefs are all based off of that. So what do you guys believe? Do you believe in what Hume has to say about beauty, or do you believe what Kant has to say about beauty? To this day, we still have a debate, philosophers still have a debate on what beauty is. You'll see a lot of influence in marketing and business. There's big business in the beauty business, but how can you define in what is beautiful to one person and what is not beautiful to the other? I want you guys to think about these things, and I'm going to show you guys a little fun craft just to let the lightning and let you guys think and process these ideas and these questions. We are going to make something that I find to be beautiful, which are flowers. And these are some pipe cleaner flowers, which are really cute and easy to make. And I'm going to show you guys how to make them. So all you'll need is four pipe cleaners for your petals, one pipe cleaner for your stem. And you'll need some scissors. Make sure to have safety scissors, and if you do not have safety scissors like the ones that I have, please ask someone a guardian and someone that is able to function and operate these scissors safely. And also you will need some string. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bend my pipe cleaners. I'm gonna bend my pipe cleaners 4 good times, or 2 times, so I'm gonna have 4 of them. So I'm gonna fold 1 time and then fold another, like so. And I'm gonna do that to each one. I'm gonna try to do this so that we can speed up on time. And then one more chop. And then this. There we go. So then you're gonna have like so. And then we're gonna take our stem and just gonna fold it over 1 time and cut it in half. Now, so we're gonna separate one of these, and we'll use this later. And I'm gonna lay these out, make sure they're nice and even. There we go. And then I'm gonna take my green pipe cleaner, which is gonna be my stem, And I'm gonna put it like on towards the center of it so that the pipe cleaners can wrap around like so, evenly wrap around. And then I'm going to, once I have it all wrapped around, I'm going to take my string and I'm going to secure those petals onto the stem, just like so. We're gonna wrap that around, make sure it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to go under the bridge and knot it, under, and then knot that one good time. And then I'm gonna do it one more time just to make sure it's nice and secure. There we go. Have that, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the excess string. And you're going to take that one pipe cleaner that you put to the side, the one petal, and going to wrap around just for aesthetics, you know. You don't want it to look like you have string, right? So there we go. So we got that all wrapped around. Beautiful. And then the next step, we're going to pull out our petals like so. And then once you have all the petals pulled out, you'll see the green little pinky through. You can fold that over, whatever you desire to do. I like to fold it over just to make it look like there's the center of the flower. And then next step, you're going to wrap it around like this, so you're making a little O. And you're just going to do it to each one and wrap it towards the inside to the center. And if you guys want, you could like wrap the end around and like twist it just so it's secured. But it's whatever you desire. Like, this is your flower, you know? Is beauty in the eye of the beholder, or is beauty a subjective thing? Like, could you argue that this is something not beautiful? One example in the book that I can think of is when Miss Delphire gave the little girl a fish sandwich, and she said that the fish sandwich taste is beautiful to her. But what if the girl bit into the fish sandwich and she didn't like it? Does that make the sandwich not beautiful? Was Miss Delphire wrong about her sandwich? Is her sandwich not beautifully tasting? It's up to you. So here's your beautiful flower. And that is how you do it. All right, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson and it got your brain thinking a little bit more about just our simple words and how it is more than just an idea. Okay, so I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope to see you all tuning in tomorrow. All right, peace and love, family.